Sandra, Lori, how are you doing? Jennifer, Valerie, welcome. I am tired, extremely tired, Lori. But besides that, I'm good. Haven't been to sleep yet. Andrea, Jessica, welcome. Valerie, it's an open Q&A forum. You can ask questions about any of the past videos. If you have anything that's on your mind, I will answer just about everything except for personal. Louise, welcome. Catherine from Western VA, is that Virginia? Yeah, look at this screen. I've got a monitor sitting up here. This one is not on the actual camera, and the tablet is not as clear as this one. But nobody wants to see the side of my face all day. Hey, we love you. Hey, everybody, give a shout out and congratulations to We Love You. She just made her first 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't seen the video that I put out on channels that I recommend, go check it out. There are three channels that I recommend. We Love You, and I don't have my card in front of me, but one's a cooking channel, and another one is a beauty and makeup tutorial channel by a lady, Farnsworth, Monica Farnsworth, and she does it for mature women, and which is a sorely under appreciated part of YouTube. There are probably a billion YouTube channels out there that do makeup tutorials for the 20, 30-year olds and younger, but not as many who pay attention to women, of all ages. And Monica Farnsworth definitely does. And I watched it with my wife and her friend, and they both loved it. Dolly Factory, I caught you live. Yeah, welcome, Sandra. You want to know what I think about Chris? I'm guessing you're speaking of Christopher Watts. I think he's a sick man. He is a pathetic individual all the way around, and I have some pity for him. I feel sorry for him. I definitely feel sorry for him. There are a lot of ways that he could have gotten out of the marriage if he didn't want to be there anymore. And basically, he took the chicken beep way out. I don't like him. Andrea, no. So the way I do that is for the first 3 months, I had on that sidebar, I had three channels. I had Shannon, I had Dragonfly, and then I had a gentleman who did tutorial videos on motors and car craft kind of stuff. But his channel only lasted a certain amount of time because he got shut down for copyright strikes, and then he just stopped. After he got his channel back, he just stopped uploading altogether. So it had been 2 months, so I took him off there. So these ladies will stay there for the next 3 months. That's a three. 3 months, and then in 3 months, I'll put three more on there. And if you have a channel, go watch that video. If you have a channel, put the name of the channel in there, not the link, and I will put it. I will look at it, and if I like the content, and I think that it's something that the viewers here on this channel might be interested in and enjoy, then I will put it on the list, and in 3 months you could be the next channel on there. I don't know how much it helps, but I hope it helps to at least drive some traffic to other channels that people might appreciate. Yeah, we love you. I think there was a lot of chances of intervention amongst the entire thing. And when I got into looking into his psychological background, and obviously I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a therapist, but when I got into it, some of the things that Nicole, his mistress, said in her interview with the police really kind of struck home. If you look at his background, he had completely felt alienated from just about everyone around him, and he was living in the basement of the home, according to Nicole. And by the accounts of the police, once they went there to investigate, they did find a fold-out bed there, and they did find a large amount of clothing of his in the basement. And it looked like someone was living downstairs in the basement. And she said that one of the things that initially drew her to him was that he was open and sharing and wanted to talk, and she really liked that. He needed that more than she did. He was reaching out for anybody, but when she pushed him away, and by her words, saying that she wanted space between now and then, that it was something that really kind of like maybe it was a catalyst that pushed him towards the direction he went. That's just my opinion, though. So I don't know, Valerie. I don't know if Nicole talked him into it. There's a lot of speculation online that she had more involvement in it, but factually, I mean, if they really if there was any evidence at all, I do believe that the um, DA there in Colorado would definitely have filed charges against her. But that's I don't know him, and I just think that he would have um, filed charges against her if there was evidence of anything. I mean, I know factually he never texted her that day and said it's done, or or any of that conversation that people speculate online that that there was a conversation that about after he killed the family that he texted her. There's no communication at all, just like she said, and they got the records directly from the cell phone company. So very well, Deb. There might be something to that. I don't know if she subconsciously did it, or if she consciously, maybe she mentioned things in conversations, so he kind of got the idea that they couldn't be together unless the family wasn't around. I don't know, but Lee, do I think she knew more that I think you meant admitted to, not admire, but I definitely think there's more to it than what she led on and what she told the police. She certainly wasn't going to incriminate herself during her interviews with the police, because she wasn't. It wasn't an interrogation, and she was free to leave at any time she wanted. But that's what they tell them. But and they tried just about every trick they could to get her to cough up more information. But she stuck to a pretty much a script there. Um, so yeah, I definitely believe there's more to it than what we all know. Will we ever find out? If Christopher Watts was to write it all down tomorrow on paper and say this is step by step of what I did and this is why I did it, would we necessarily all believe him? I mean, because he's lied constantly his entire life. If you look into his background, you will find countless contradictions through his entire life. He always made himself out to be a grander person than he was, and that's part of the narcissistic personality disorder. I am better than you and everyone else. uh, yeah, I'd be biting my lip too, Deb. Burner phone. Yeah, I saw quite a bit of speculation about that. But now, I'll tell you about this. So I went to Walmart. I never go to Walmart. I hate shopping at Walmart. It's not because of the store or the company or any of that crap. It's the people who shop in Walmart. It's like 9 times out of 10, I'm in there. Someone always wants to come up to me and carry on a conversation about some weird ass crap. Sorry about my language. So I went to Walmart and I inquired about these burner phones, untraceable phones. And I said, I'm looking for a phone that I can use temporarily, and I played it off like I went in with that exact thing. In order to get the phones set up and actually activated, you have to activate the actual account on the phone, and then you can buy airtime cards, and you can buy, some companies go by minutes and some go by monthly plans. But in order to activate the actual phone, you have to have a social security number and a birth date. So there is no real burner phones anymore. And while talking to the manager at the Walmart in the electronics department, I found out the reason why they require this information now is because it's to stop people from dealing drugs and having disposable phones that are untraceable. It was meant for that, and the reason why they put the requirements in place. But there is no real true burner phone, unless I guess maybe you bought like a stolen phone that was able to be activated. And I don't put either one of them as being smart enough to ever go to that length. I mean, look what they did. Mm, oh, I missed that. I was trying to read that and it went by. Ooh, they watched Shutter Island. Has anybody ever seen that movie? I did. That scared the leaving poop out of me. That's a good movie. I'm not much one for psychological like thrillers like that. I mean, I'd rather read a book. But Shutter Island, wow. And again, everybody, I'm sorry about my dog barking. He's in a crate right now because he just had surgery on his neck to remove a cyst, and he's going to bark all day. I gave him his sedative about 40 minutes ago when I thought maybe, well, maybe I'll knock him out by 1 o'clock when I have to do the live stream. Apparently not. Alex, is this my man cave? No. It's just a room that I'm temporarily using until I get my studio finished in the main part of the house. That I am not in my garage. I am in a room off of my garage. I guess you'd call it a utility room, per se. Um, when I bought the place, it looked like maybe the previous owner had stored motors in it because the floor below me has got oil stains all over it, and where these shelves are back here behind the flag, there was all kinds of nuts and bolts and containers and stuff like that when I came and looked at the place. But it's some place for me to do the videos until I get my studio done. I just finished painting it yesterday because it was the most god awful. What's the nicest way to put this? Blue. It looked like somebody had painted an underwater scene, so it went a lighter blue at the top to a darker, almost a black on the bottom, and that was the ceiling, the walls, the trim, the molding, everything was painted, and they didn't take anything off. The light covers, electrical covers, they painted it all. And I have a little bit of OCD in me, and I can't understand how people paint things and they don't take off even two screws off to take the electrical cover off. Things like that just drive me nuts. Yeah, well, I know everybody. I've been asked to several times to see the dogs. They there are three that are in just on the other side of this wall right now who are asleep, and they have a dog door they can come in and out of the garage. So, but they're completely deaf, and they even to get them to eat, you have to coax them, and we have to do a mixture of hard and soft food because we were trying to figure this out the other day. I think we think they're about 18 years old, but I adopted them when they weren't pups, but they're not fully grown adult dogs yet, and because they didn't want them because they were deaf. No, Spider, I missed your question. Let me scroll up here and see if I can find it. I'm not trying to ignore you or anyone else. I get gibbering and I tend to, and these things fly by. I don't know how fast they're going by you guys, but there are a lot, you don't see all the comments. A lot of the comments are that when someone gets blocked for inappropriate comment, it takes up about that much of the sidebar, and then it deletes the message completely. What do you think about the purple sleep mask found on the basement bed the day the dog handler was alerting in the basement? Chris wouldn't have worn a sleep mask Shannon possibly had on when she died. I Spider. At first, I've actually I've heard about that actual item. She may have. I hate to disappoint everybody, but when it comes to this case, I spent so much time researching it, and I got to the point where I was absolutely burnt out on reading, the case. I mean, I was losing sleep over it, and it was starting to affect my life. Just how deep I was into the research on this case. But I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what, I have to stop researching this. Louise, your pug is 11. That's a long time for a pug, isn't it? Yeah, these are German Shepherd Terrier mixes, except for my dog. Mine is a German Shepherd purebred. Well, at least supposed to be. I mean, he looks just like a full-grown German Shepherd. I don't know. I've never gone on my way to buy a purebred dog. I used to volunteer for the United States Humane Society, SPCA. I would walk dogs, but I, to tell you the truth, though, I spent most of my time taking care of the cats. I love cats. Well, Spider, I will definitely look up that video um, and see it. The other day, I looked into a couple of different videos that people had shared with me on other social media, and he there's a lot of speculation out there and a lot of things that I understand that we don't have all the information and we never will, but right now the speculation and rumors are, I mean, at an all-time high in this case, and trying to sort through what is true and what's not. Hello, can you read the name of my channel? What's the name of your channel? Is it your new username? Thank you, Jeremy. As long as you don't quote Leviticus, I don't have a problem with you posting anything. Well, as long as it's not racist or hateful towards other people or bullying, that'll get your butt banned in a heartbeat. But I don't think you'd do that. Uh, Starfire? No, I am not a tow truck driver. Yeah, Doll Factory. I'm quite surprised. I was I pulled up and some of you people that are in the UK got a lot of followers in the UK. The BBC, wow, I had no idea until I started looking at the BBC's news, and some of the other, I guess you call them news publications, that just how popular it was in this, the Christopher Watts case was there. David, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, David. BBC America? No, it was. I was looking at the BBC in the UK. Side note, though, my wife and my daughter are big fans of the BBC One and Two and the BBC channels, especially some of the sitcoms that they used to run, like Doctor Who and Black Adder, which if you've never seen Black Adder, even I enjoy some of that. Am I a logger? No, no, I am not a logger. But thanks for the guess. I'll tell you this much. If you go back through the live streams, there was one individual before who actually did guess it. Hey, Alan, welcome back. Thumbnail? I don't get that, Alan. Sky News is pretty good. We love you. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, Jill, that is true. But I I took it to heart because I'm a father and I have a 2-year old, and I kind of put myself in the position where I was trying to figure out how did somebody get to that point where they hurt their own child? How do you lower yourself to the point where you would put your hands on a child in anger and then, let alone kill one, but kill two? And I just could not escape that, and it it ate at me because I how do you stop it? How do you stop the next guy from down the street doing it, or the guy in Michigan, or wherever? And trying to psychologically, bring myself to a point where I can actually say, you know what, I can understand this. I couldn't do it, and it really hurt. Yeah, Spider isn't working. I know, and he does not want to be in that cage. But it was either that or we put one of those stupid dog like lampshade things on him, and that would have drove him even crazier because the cyst was on his shoulder bone, and he'd been scratching it with his back leg. Al Shaziers covered the Watts case too. Yes, they did, Liberty. Very much. And they actually did some very good reporting on the case as well. I was quite surprised. True, true, Louise. And for him to ever try to dirty her name in any way. Thank you for the super chat, Lori. Appreciate it. Oh, I have no intentions of ever stopping this, but thank you. I really do appreciate it. Jade, have you seen the Armchair Detective's videos on Chris Watts' amazing what he found? I don't know, Louise. You want to answer that one? No, I'm just kidding. No, me and Louise had a conversation about this just the other day. Uh, yes, I have seen it. I have looked at just about not only the videos that me and Louise were talking about. I watched about 6 or 7 other videos, some that he did, and another channel that he has linked to his. I watched videos about the case. I can make a whole another series on just the issues with all of them. Diana, hi, Will. This is the first time I have chatted. I do love your channel. What do you think about the Plunder channel video about Chris Watts reading to his daughters every night? Uh, well, I haven't seen that, so I can't really comment on that, and I'm not a big fan of Plunder. Yes, David. I have seen that video. Thanks for the super chat, Spider. Really appreciate every one of you for the super chats, and not only for that, but everybody else too, who can and can't do the super chats. Armchair Detective is fantastic. Can recommend. I haven't seen enough of his videos yet to determine just how great he is. I mean, I do like the way that David did, the way he does his videos. He is adding insight into the case and to the videos that he is covering. RuPaul, yeah, I'm actually probably going to address the entire video that Armchair Detective and others have done on the shadow that is seen around the truck area, and I'm trying to find somebody who I can ask more forensic questions about and bounce off of them, so you can not only listen to me, jabber on about the video, but you can actually get the forensic science behind it. I know a little bit about it, from what I've read, but I want to make sure what I understand forensically about the shadow is correct before I put out a video on it and before I actually comment on it. Now, I have talked to a couple of subscribers and supporters of this channel about it privately, and I'm going to leave it at that. But I'm done with it for now. So please understand that. But I will get to it. Um, it, it should be a slider bar up and down, or click all the way to the left on the bar, and then you can I think physically enter in a dollar amount. Did I see the video about the girl coming down the stairs? No, I did not see that, Valerie. Powell guy. Powell. Note cards. These are all the suggestions of the videos. All right. Yeah, I have that case here. Oh, hey, thanks for the super chat, Louise. Appreciate it. There's a guy doing NK interviews with comic illustrations on the screen, Lisa. Okay. Um, I'm not surprised. I've actually seen a couple of videos online where someone said that they were interviewing her, and just by listening, if you play the audio of her and her interview, and then you play the video that is on that channel, they're not the same person. You have to understand, there's a lot of people out there they're gonna make up everything they can, and it's complete lies because they want to get that, especially if they're trying to build a subscriber base and or whatever their reasoning is. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Samantha Marie. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. But there are a lot of really, really bad videos out there where they are lying like there is no tomorrow. And just to let everyone know, I do have a Christopher Watt video coming up this coming week, where I'm going to cover some of the falsehoods, I guess you could call it. We love you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. No, Mandy, I did not say what her new name was. I do not know what it is. And the farther I looked into her life, the more twisted and convoluted her backstory is. And she grew up in pretty much I wouldn't say privileged, but she never had to really want for anything in this world. Spider, what do I think of that? The Powell, from what I've read so far, yeah. If you guys want to read about an interesting case, where is his card? Go look up Vincent Brothers. I'm not kidding. That guy started off as he was I think either a vice principal or principal at the high school. That is a very interesting case. And yes, I'm researching it. It's a suggestion from a viewer. Each and every one of these cards has a name written on the back of them from who suggested them to me. But I don't normally give out the shout outs to the people who suggest them. I just got the footage today. So I know that there are other videos out there of people who have posted the body cam from the officer who arrived on the scene at the Watts home, but that is not what they are showing on their channel is not the complete unedited version of the body cam video footage. And the one that I'm talking about is one that has like the timeline here at the bottom, and it says, okay, friend, call, Chris shows up, bedroom. You guys have probably seen the video, but that has been edited. There's a very important part, in between there where the officer is going around and checking the windows of the house, and but it's definitely been edited. Vincent Brothers. That his first name is Vincent. His last name is Brothers. Ooh, didn't see the rest of that comment. Well, Louise, neither can I. There is a lot of them out there. Thank you, Lori. Crowley murders. Oh, no. Yeah, that's backwards. David Crowley. It is in the stack. Is Christopher Watts still in Wisconsin? Yes, he is still currently at the Dodge Correctional Institute. And the Department of Corrections. The last time I heard, I don't have his that file in front of me. It is upstairs on the table, but the gentleman who is the Department of Corrections spokesman for the state said in his last announcement that they have not decided if Christopher Watts will stay there. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily move him out of state. And there has been speculation that he was moved on to Wyoming because he was beaten up. Not true. I know that's not true because the medical department must report any incidences where an inmate is hurt. And so I know that's not true. But they may keep him in Dodge, or they may move him to Waupun, or they could move him out of state. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it. No, Megan, I haven't heard that. Christopher Christopher Watts was a victim of his mistress. That's the only way Christopher Watts was a victim. He was like puttying her hands. Yes, but the if I know I probably didn't do the best job that I could, but in the video where I tried to explain his background, Christopher Watts purposely picked women his entire life that will fit a certain profile. They looked pretty much the same. They acted pretty much the same. They were pretty much younger versions of his mother his entire life. And if Nicole used him or did anything to him to get what she wanted in this world, that was because he put himself in that situation. Janine, I'm still living in Wisconsin. What a nice time to check in. LOL. I just wanted to say hi. Actually, did a visit with someone and went to both of those prison as a counselor type. Hello, Janine. I love the state of Wisconsin. I was born there, lived there pretty much a good portion of my life. Still have a lot of family in Wisconsin and the upper parts of Minnesota. Somebody was telling me the other day it's probably why they enjoy this channel so much when I made that comment in the comment section because we just live and look at life in a different way. I don't think so. I just think we look at life and we deal with life in adversity in a different way. Wisconsin rocks. Yes, it does. Doll Factory, yeah. He allowed women to control him. I think he for a large part he wanted women to control him. Jiggle Y? Are you David? Are you replying to someone? Oh, we got Jiggle Jazz. Can you hear me? That Jiggle Jazz says that. I don't understand that. Duluth? Isn't that up there where they found Jamie? Jamie Kloss? Wasn't it near Duluth? Or well, so 70 miles from where she was taken, but it was upstate Wisconsin, Duluth, Minnesota. You're born in Minnesota, and yes, love this. You're right. All right. Truth, truth time. I was actually born in Minneapolis, and I lived across the state line, but because there is no hospital where I live. Zelda, thank you for the super chat. Bow ring. Oh my God. Caroline, you went to the Harley Davidson factory there? I've never been there. Never been to. A lot of people have asked me that over the years. Hey, that home of the Harley Davidson? Have you ever been there? Nope, never been there. Douglas is where Jamie was found. Douglas County, isn't it? I believe so. But I'm just, you know, I've been following that case for quite a while, and um, facts here is I've never told a single person in my family other than my wife and my adult daughter that I even have this YouTube channel. And and everybody else has either found out through word of mouth or whatever. But I have a sister who lives in Minnesota. She is a subscriber, and I see her pop up every once in a while. And I don't call her out because, well, I'm not going to let anybody start stalking her. But I have another sister who lives in Colorado, and she is now a subscriber as well. I'm terrible at self promoting this entire thing. It's something it's my own personal thing I have to get over. Yeah, Spider. I don't hear him anymore right now either. Guess it took a little bit longer than I thought to kick in. He's a good sized dog. Old. I love him. I don't know what I'm going to do when he's gone, but I know he can't live forever. But I'm going to make him as comfortable as I can for the rest of his life. K Bell, yes. I have a video coming up this week with news and an update on the Christopher Watts case. It's already done. It's just sitting, waiting for me to upload it. Teaser. Carolyn, he may have requested pictures of their gravesite. Pamela, thank you for the super chat, sweetheart. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I, went, I was reading a comment and it just went zooming by. Pamela, you're right, and I've been reading up on quite a bit that men almost always pick women that model their mothers in some way, shape, or form. They may try to change, but it's hard thing to do. You're absolutely right. So they say, and unless you, um, there is something to that, though. Absolutely. But unless you grow up in a household where you have a traumatic event that is from one parent or the other, your or mother, then you will a male will find themselves more attracted to a woman who is the opposite of their mother, from what I've read so far. I don't know if he took the plea to protect Nicole. He did say in his interrogation that he was trying to protect her, that she was involved in this. So no, Susan, she is not in witness protection. Yeah, and Louise, there are. I got into this discussion with somebody else here on um, YouTube and over on Facebook. We found at least 11 different examples of fake photographs, touched up and faked photographs of headstones that belong to Shannon and to the girls. Um, One actually is a picture that is obviously faked, because you could tell that the shadowing is right, and there's a couple other clues too. But that said that they are all dumped into a mass grave. It's like one grave headstone for one grave that was dug from all, like they were stacked on top of each other. That's not true at all. I've seen the actual real photos from that were taken from family friends of hers. Hold on one second, everyone. Sorry about the shaking the camera here. Okay, I've noted that name. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Uh, guys, hold on. I gotta go back up. I missed your question. So Terry said, MCK asked, I heard that Christopher wants to drag their bodies out, that the cops didn't want that part to be shown to the public, so that it wasn't shown. Is that true? Because I could never actually see their bodies. I'm guessing you're speaking of is the girls. Zelda, thank you again for the super chat. um, he carried both of the girls out to the bed of from the bed, from the garage wherever they were into the um, double cab second door and put them into the inside of the truck. From what I've read, now that would the reason why on the CCTV camera from the neighbor's house pointed this way, you see him walk by this side of the truck once, and then the rest of the time he spends his time on the driver's side of the truck because it's backed in. I wish the Rooster would change all their loved ones' last names. They are no longer part of that wicked family. Oh, from Watts to roost checks, yeah, they very well could have done that, and they could have been buried with the roost check name on the headstone. If Chris actually technically could have put up a fight about that, if the Watts family, mom and dad wouldn't allow it. But if they're paying for the burial, and they can put whatever the heck they want on the headstone. But apparently they decided that that's what they wanted on the headstone. But I do definitely Zelda agree with that. I would think that if something like that happened to someone I love, that they would change the name on the headstone as well, or put their birth name on it. But the two girls were born Wattses. Thanks, Herd. Appreciate it. I don't understand that one. You got to be replying to somebody else. Oh, isn't that Gary Pickington? Gale? Who, the pig farmer? I, I've been reading about. I think his last name is Pickington. Gary Pickington. Now, it's an odd thing. So when it comes to prisoners who work in the United States, they have to offer them a wage so they can say that it's not slavery, but it's damn near slavery. For what some of these inmates make for wages, especially when it comes to southern states. Some of those inmates make absolutely nothing, and then they get charged so they make like a small wage. They give them like, oh, we'll pay you $1 an hour, but then they charge them, you know, $9 a day to be on a work crew, to go out and work in a farm. Well, they only make $8 a day, so they lose $1 just to be outside every day. And there are a lot of inmates who actually pick that to be on these chain gangs, and work in these crops or roads or whatever, because even $1 a day, at least they're not stuck in a cell. Taco burrito. Do you like going to In and Out? Yeah, I'm assuming you're asking me since this is live stream. Uh, I've never been to In and Out, and I've never been to Whataburger. I don't have either one of the places anywhere near me. I think the nearest one would be in, I don't know. I think they have an In and Out burger in, well, they're all over California, aren't they? I don't live in California. I live in Washington State. I live in a very vanilla area, I guess you could say, for when it comes to culinary food and culinary arts. Around here, but the most exciting thing you're going to find like that, it would be Burger King or McDonald's. Yeah, if I go 2 towns over, I can get to a Wendy's. Here, the NK told the police that when she talked to Christopher Watts on the night of the murders, he was washing the kids' sheets because they smelled. I have not heard that, Susan, and I would highly doubt that's factual. But I have the complete interview with her in the transcript. Again, and it's in another room, upstairs on the table. How come a cadaver dog didn't alert to cadavers when they were with the due respect? Christopher once loaded 3 cadavers in his truck, didn't he? What are your thoughts? Cadaver dogs. I'm not sure when they used cadaver dogs, if they did, because before if they knew pretty much what he had done. They were just given him enough rope to to hang himself, and they knew where he had been. They knew where he went. They went to where he went before they called him in, and they looked at the area. So I mean, I'm not aware of them using cadaver dogs, but I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm just saying I'm not aware of it. It was on the phone call, Susan, that she told him that. I don't have a transcript of that, but I know that the video is on YouTube of the first interview she had with the police. I would have to look into that though. There are 2 types of dogs used. Well, I'm not doubting that that it happened. I just don't know of it. And just like a lot of things, that really did happen, and I don't, talk about them in my videos because I can't confirm them. If I can't confirm the information, I don't talk about it. I mean, I can make a speculative video, but I think the majority of my subscribers here would much rather watch me talk about the truth than rumors and speculations and possibilities. What's my dog's name? Lucky. Mental health assessment was done after the arrest for Christopher Watts. The mental health evaluation and assessment for him wasn't completed until after, I think it was 8 days after he was in county jail. I have the record of that. He was on suicide watch, waiting to be evaluated, and they finally, he said, "Yeah, I'll talk to him." But I don't know. Don't quote me on the 8 days right now, but yeah, it was done when he was in county jail. Louise, you had a chow chow. It looks like a golden lion named Lucky. No, my dog's name is Lucky because he was the litter he came from. All the puppies were born on one day, and he was born. I think it was almost 3 days later. And when he was born, they thought he was just an afterbirth or something. And then they thought, well, he's that puppy's dead. And then they went and to pick him up and to dispose of him, and he moved. He is my best friend. He goes to work with me every night. Yeah, thankfully, because otherwise we'd still be listening to him bark. He did ask, and he did receive a temporary um, block on his medical records from being released. So, but that no, neither here nor there. It all was squashed as soon as he signed the plea deal. I don't know what he was trying to hide, or I think what he was trying to do, and it was a legal maneuver between him and his attorneys. They didn't. They were trying to stop the DA from being able to get medical records, and to in case he maybe had cut himself, and they could say, "Well, we have this blood type that matches to his." And they also had him take out a restraining order against himself, so he could not talk to anybody, and anything he may have said while he was in jail before trial couldn't have been admissible because he was in not the right mind. Oh, I definitely Nadia XDX. I think that Christopher Watts thought he had a heck of a lot more time than what he actually ended up having. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the actual. I'd have to check on that before I comment any further on that. Can you get antidepressants in prison? Yes, Carolyn. A very large majority of the prison population here in America is on some kind of antidepressant medication, or um, but and if they're truly in need of psychiatric help, then they don't have, if they're in prison, but they're in the medical ward. I'm sure that there's somebody in here who's worked in a prison before. I know if somebody locked me away for 23 hours a day, I'd need some antidepressants or something. Hazel, my name is Will. That is my name. Now I know you, and you know my name. You're Hazel. I'm Will. Yeah, definitely. Thank Kevin for Nicole Atkins. I think that was the biggest trip up in this entire case. We would still be wondering, and I don't think we'd be anywhere near where we are right now if it wasn't for her calling the police that day and starting the ball rolling of them looking at her. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Hazel. I hope you're both having a great day today. Jan, welcome. Uh, Lori, I think that the there was a series of things that took place for that pushed him towards this. What what I don't understand is why he thought that this was the best course of action. I think his mistress being distant with him, um, Shanann uh, becoming pregnant with a third child, the added pressure of not being if he was going to be able to financially support them, wanting to move back home to North Carolina, and just not being happy all around. I think all of it plays into a giant spear of his unhappiness, but why he what filled that up to the point where he decided to annihilate his entire family. That's the part that really is that the head scratcher, I guess you could call it. But yeah, I think they've definitely played part of it. You would be absolutely surprised, Zelda, on just how much really bad fake news is out there, especially on YouTube, when it comes to this case of Christopher Watts. Yeah, a lot. and it gets filtered out from YouTube, and then people read it on, hey, I saw it on YouTube, and they tell a friend, then a friend, reports it to another friend, and they say, well, it's factual, not factual, because it was a complete lie over here on YouTube or on Facebook, and then it gets, by the time it gets to this fifth person, they hear it, there's no connection at all, and they believe it at all. Excuse me. Oh yeah. He had I think the last statement I saw was that he had received over 40 different love letters from women, along with the photos and the money and everything else that he has been receiving. Yeah, I don't know, Lisa. I don't know why he thought that was the right course of action. Wow, Hazel, 20:05 there. So you're an 8-hour difference from here. We are at a hour and 7 minutes right now. Campton, New Hampshire. I just started watching a YouTube channel from someone in New Hampshire. It has nothing to do with this kind of crime, or crime at all. He does repair videos. I was looking to know how to repair the my riding lawnmower, and I found this guy's YouTube channel where he was actually talking about the same issue. It's a well-known issue with that brand. The Optimist. I'm in Italy, 2307 here. Hi everyone. Hello, Optimist. Welcome. 2207 in the UK. Peace out. Chat lunchtime. Happy wife. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you coming today. I bet you they didn't like this at all. The Lavelle company. I mean, there's a lot of negative backsplash, and ill will towards the company that is out there on the internet because of the connection with Shannon. Do I play the guitar, Louise? No. That little tiny guitar there, I made that for my niece, who's now in college. Her father was in the service as well, and I made it for her. And it's actually got a wire around it. It's tied up there. I used to play the guitar, but I can't anymore. Yep, the company didn't do anything at all. I heard that they tried to get one of her friends to retrieve the samples and boxes of product from their garage. I can't confirm that though. It was just on one of the like Facebook groups that for the people who are within the business talk about who they've just signed up. Mrs. Lily Monster. Do you believe the gay lover? He did an interview with Inside Edition. Just an awful trying to profit from this. Oh yeah. Oh, he's definitely trying to profit from it. He was trying to profit from it before Inside Edition did the interview with him. And a lot of the what he has to say is lies and trying to think of a nice way to put this, but extreme exaggeration. I mean, there might be truth to it at some point in there, but I mean, when you start off with a lie, it's hard to believe anything after that. I've actually spoken to a couple people who I know who are working on their master's degrees, who are currently in college, Lori, about the different types of women who are chasing after him and the type of women who are attracted to someone like Christopher Watts, or along with that, still some women who are attracted to men who are in prison. And I've got my my fingers out there, the cookie jars, I guess you'd call it, trying to find find ways to actually get people to actually come on this channel with me and or collaborate in some form, who want to talk about this, who actually have the knowledge that I can actually verify. And because if I talked about psychology, and I did a video about that, I would see 300 negative comments right away about you're not a psychologist. What's your experience? And even if I put the textbook right here and said I read this entire book, people would say, "Well, you're still not, knowledgeable enough of this." But I've looked into it, and I really would love to get into that, because it's actually really interesting, on why some of the women are into the prisoners. There are women who they're groupies basically, and they follow and they enjoy the fact that the inmate will never get out. Mandy, no. I mean, you could put it in there, but it's just all it's going to do is get your message bounced. It's just the same thing if you put a link in the comment section on YouTube, it stays there for maybe a minute, if that, and then all of a sudden it goes right to the spam folder, and I don't bother to read them. Trust me, I'm not doing it personally. I get four, maybe 500 messages a day that have a link or something in them. I don't have time to read those, and if it ends up in the spam folder, I click one button and it deletes them all. But it's not personal. We can talk about it, we just don't put any links. Real psychic. I hope Christopher Watts gets gang bummed. May happen. Yeah, he did. He definitely got his 15 minutes, and he's probably going to keep on. I don't see him stopping, because he was he was talking to others out there. Adriana 411. Adriana. One, is Chris allowed to have those letters and pics from groupies? He's allowed to have the letters, as long as they're not a gang affiliation or hate mail coming in, or talking about crimes coming in, in graphic nature. But the pictures, he is not allowed to have the pictures of nude women that he's been sent, semi-nude women. Pornography is not allowed in most federal and state penitentiaries, and uh, or semi-nudes, but it is still smuggled in the into the penitentiary system. I mean, but it is considered contraband if it ever makes it in there. So to answer that, I guess he is not allowed the pictures. He is not allowed all types of letters, and all the packages that people have been sending, that just goes right into the trash. They don't allow him to have any of it, because they don't know what's inside of the items. Oh yeah, he's definitely allowed to order stamp letters from Commissary. I believe the Dodge Correction Institution allows him to have up to a maximum of 20 pre-stamped envelopes. Those little envelopes you get at the actual post office, like out of the machine, where the postage is actually printed on it. It doesn't actually have a stamp, a key like stuck to it because it's cash. That is cash money. Stamps are cash money here on the outside too. A lot of people didn't believe that when I put that on the in the comment section. Look it up. U.S. postage stamps are currency. What else is he buying besides the prison food? Because he's not eating the prison food. Don't know. I don't have an actual copy of his first commissary sheet. I missed. It must be something. Kathy. Eventually, he will get what's coming to him. Kathy, yes, um, he will. He will definitely get what's coming to him. About the Mary, about the money that is sent to him. The money that is sent to him, they take it and they deposit it into his inmate account. Briefly, what is an inmate account? What is a commissary account? There, when someone is incarcerated for a long period of time, and this is what I understand from what I've read on line and been able to research, is they basically open up what is attuned to a like a checking account, but you don't get a debit card or anything like that from it. It's paperless after that. Your inmate number is your part of your account number or something to that effect, so other inmates can't get it. And then they give you a PIN code or something to that effect along with your name. But each place there are different regulations, but basically it's an account. All the money he gets goes into an account. He works, it goes into account. Money is sent to him, it goes into account. And 60% of everything that goes into that account is garnished. They garnish it before the money goes in the account. They don't just go, well, there's 50,000 in the account now. We'll garnish 60% of that. No, if $5 comes in, they garnish 60%. If a dollar comes in, they garnish 60%. They garnish it before it goes into the account, and then he gets the rest of it. And that 60% is for restitution to the Ruchek family, the courts, and to his creditors that he owed money to before he went to prison. And I know a lot of people think that 100% of that should go to the Rusick family, but if we did that, I want you to understand this. If we gave 100% of the money that comes into that account to the Rusick family and all the money he earns that would be in that account, we then have to pay for his personal hygiene items for the rest of his life while he's in prison. Would you rather pay for that, or would you rather one of his stupid groupies, pay for his hygiene items and we don't have to pay for them? Personally, I don't understand the people who are his groupies. If they want to send him their money, be it. I don't want to pay for anything more for this man. Um, yeah, Jingle Jazz. There is definitely a restriction on how much money he can spend per month from it. I don't know if there's a restriction. If you're saying $500 a month or more. I think that are you saying that the money coming in or going out of the account? Um, Regardless, there is a restriction on how much money he can spend for commissary. So if let's just say he had a pile of money in his checking account that he was able to then debit out for commissary, there is a restriction on how much he can actually spend per commissary allotment. So each time he goes to commissary or fills out the sheet and turns it in, and if he fills it out correctly, there is a restriction on how much he can actually spend. He can't spend it all on, you know, it's true, Catherine. But there are a lot of sick, weird people out there in this world. The sick, weird ones. If anybody out there has free time and they really want to delve into, the twisted side of this, go look up at the murder memorabilia market. There were people who ripped the flowers out of their yard and chipped pieces of their bricks off of the Watts home of the facade so they could sell them on the market and profit from that. Murder memorabilia. And you don't have to go to the dark web for that. You can go right to eBay. Well, at least eBay was trying to shut it all down. There might be some still of it on there, but you can see it on all over the internet. There are complete websites that deal in just this kind of sick stuff. There's only allowed $500 a month maximum for commissary. That is how it is a candidate. If he gets 100,000 in his account, he can only access 500 a month, and that is how it works here. Thank you for letting me know that, Jingle Jazz. And it's kind of like if they have a maximum here in the state of Wisconsin where he's at, if they have a maximum per commissary, so that would be he gets commissary once every other week, so that would be the maximum there in Wisconsin. And I do not know what the actual maximum is. I think it is like $45, but it might be $55. It's somewhere in that ballpark. He can spend per commissary visit, and then either $90 or 110 somewhere in there is the maximum. Cops are Freemasons. That's just an awkward messenger. Hello. Well, thank you for that, but that's not true. L2 Design. Thank you for your opinion. Zelda, you were a sheriff's deputy and a Christian. Got a couple, just got a new badge, patch, arm patch today. I collect them. That was actually from a sheriff officer. We're going to about another 5 minutes here, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'm going to have to wrap this up. You were 23 years old in San Diego. I was 23 years old once and in San Diego. I was at MCRD San Diego. I arrived there when I was 22. I spent my first Christmas there, 22nd year Christmas there. And then I went down from there. Seems like a lifetime ago to me, though. Yeah. Ted Bundy, the Ramirez brothers. Doesn't matter what a man does, you will all have women pursuing. Uh, to a very large extent. L2 Design, you're in San Diego now. Zelda, 1974. Whoa. Was that when you were with the sheriff's department there? Well, either way, thank you for your service. Either way, Zelda. I appreciate it. It really sucks, man. I've made several videos on law enforcement and protecting the blue line. And every time I do, they never gain any traction. Nobody wants to see him. And then what traction it does get is people taking him to an extreme hate. You graduated from the academy in 1974. Well, I can tell you, Kathy, what he does for once every other day with his hour. He is led out of his cell to an exercise cage area. Yeah, it is really a cage. It's made out of chain link, and there are six of them together. And he exercises in that area. I think it's like 12 feet long, and he can do push-ups, pull-ups, and stuff like that. But it's in an actual enclosement, so other inmates can't get to him every other day when he is allowed out. But he could, walk around. But you'd be surprised. Yeah, people think that he's going to get shanked or stabbed or whatever. I mean, as long as he keeps his mouth shut and keeps to himself, he could probably have a long life in prison. I don't understand that. All right, everyone. I'm going to have to wrap this up. Freedom Hiker 0.00. Thank you, Freedom Hiker, for putting that on there. I don't know. I understand the comment, Freedom Hiker, but got about another 2 minutes. Then I'm gonna have to end this. Well, Zelda, thank you. I appreciate that. And quickly, when I in case you hadn't heard before, I'll tell it to everybody again. I started this channel. I was researching something before I ever made my first video here, and when I went to YouTube to try to find the information, I was blown away by the fact of how many people were lying about the subject that I was researching, and I was like, how is it that someone can make up complete crap? Sorry for my language, and post it and get 100,000 views on this and lie, and people believe it. I'm like, and so I was joking around with my wife, and I said, "Well, what would happen if I put out a video of the actual truth, and how many followers you think, or views you think I'd get?" I posted it. I got six views, and I used the same thumbnail, the same video description as the one that had the 100,000. Yeah, of course I wasn't going to get monetized. That was long beforehand. I didn't have enough viewers, subscribers for that. But I got six, and that video went on to having over 400,000 views. And I ended up at the end, before I pulled it, I had 131 views and 100, right around 100 comments about people who didn't believe anything that I had to say. So the next video I put out was nothing but a PDF of the actual facts in the case. And then I referred it back to him and I said, tell me I'm wrong. So that's what I started. I started the channel because I was tired of of all the lies and rumors and stuff that are out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and you stay safe out there this coming week. Um, keep in mind, tomorrow I have the Murder and Coffee premiere. And these videos, I post them 7 days before they actually go live. You can watch them, but while the video is actually playing, it is just like this, a live chat on the side. We can talk about the video while it's actually playing, and you can interact with me. So that's tomorrow. And the time and everything is right there on the channel. You can click on the bell icon to be reminder when that video launches. So, oh, thanks for the super chat there, Jane. And you have a good night as well. Everyone stay safe out there. Till next time.